Let's be real for a second. We all watch apocalypse movies and think, yeah, I'd be fine. I'd just barricade the doors, raid a Costco, and become the hardened leader of a ragtag group of survivors. No, you wouldn't. I know I wouldn't. I get a tension headache if I sleep on a hotel pillow that's slightly too firm. If the Wi-Fi drops for 20 minutes, I pace around my kitchen like a Victorian widow waiting for a letter from the sea. I know for a fact my survival skills are zero. If society collapses tomorrow, I am not the main character. I am the guy who trips on a root in the background of scene 1 and immediately gets eaten. So today, we're doing a game of Would You Rather, but we're focusing strictly on situations that would take me out immediately. No winning, just picking how I exit the simulation. Situation 1. Would you rather be stranded in the middle of the Sahara Desert with one bottle of warm water or floating in the dead center of the Pacific Ocean on a leaky air mattress? Honestly, I'm dead in under an hour either way. But if you're holding a timer to my head, I guess I'll take the ocean. The desert is just walking until you bake. It's too much effort. I hate hiking on a good day. I'm not doing it on sand when it's 120 degrees out. At least the ocean lets you sit down. I can just lay back on my deflating mattress, look up at the clouds, and pretend I'm on a really awful, aggressively lonely vacation. Sure, there's the existential dread of looking down into miles of black water knowing something is looking back up at me, but the desert requires cardio. I'll take my chances with a shark. It's quicker than heat stroke. Situation 2. Would you rather be stuck in a building taken over by heavily armed mercenaries, like Die Hard, or be in the middle of a fast zombie outbreak? And I mean World War Z zombies, not the slow, shuffling ones. Give me the mercenaries. Here's why. With zombies, the primary survival mechanic is running. You have to run everywhere, forever. Do you know how bad my knees are? I'm not doing parkour over rusted cars. I get shin splints if I jog to catch the bus. And where are people finding the stamina in these movies? Nobody stretches before the apocalypse. I'd pull a hamstring on day 2 and just offer myself to the horde. With the Die Hard scenario, at least the threat is localized. The mercenaries want the vault or the code or whatever. I don't have the code. I am in accounting. I'll just hide in a supply closet behind the printer paper. Sure, the hero is crawling through the air ducts. I'm not doing that either. Ducts are full of dust and dead spiders. I'll just sit in the dark, eat someone's stolen lunch out of the break room fridge, and wait for the SWAT team. Situation 3. Would you rather be stuck in a broken elevator for 14 hours with your most unhinged ex, or your boss right after you called in sick, but they clearly saw you on the Jumbotron at a baseball game? Just cut the elevator cables. Let it drop. I can't do the small talk. If it's the ex, we're yelling by hour 2 and I'm crying by hour 4. We're relitigating arguments from 3 years ago about loading the dishwasher. If it's the boss, the sheer suffocating awkwardness would actually cause my organs to shut down one by one. Imagine sitting on a dirty elevator floor, making eye contact with the person who pays your rent while you're wearing a foam finger, and your phone is at 12%. Do you use it to call for help, or do you play Candy Crush to avoid looking at them? I'll take the X. I'd rather be emotionally destroyed than unemployed and sweating in a metal box. Situation 4. Would you rather be a peasant in the year 1348, right as the plague hits Europe, or a pirate on a ship in 1715? People romanticize pirates. You get a sword, you sail the seas, you drink rum. Sounds great until you realize scurvy makes your teeth fall out. Have you ever had a toothache? Now imagine having a toothache in 1715 and the ship's doctor is just a guy named Barnaby with a pair of rusty pliers and a dirty rag. Plus, I get violently seasick on a ferry ride that lasts more than 20 minutes. I'm not surviving a squall off the coast of Tortuga. But the peasant life, absolutely not. You work in mud for 16 hours a day, your house is made of sticks and literal cow manure, and if you get a paper cut, you die of an infection. I need modern dentistry and antibiotics. If you take away my ibuprofen and indoor plumbing, I am clocking out of this life immediately. So, pirate, I guess? Maybe I can get a job swabbing the deck where I don't have to fight anybody. Just keep my head down and eat limes. So many limes. Situation 5. Would you rather be the very first human abducted by aliens or spend 3 nights completely alone in a verified, genuinely haunted asylum? Aliens, 100%. Not even hesitation. Think about the mechanics of a haunting. If I'm trying to sleep in a dark room and a ghost throws a chair across the hallway, my heart just stops. That's a wrap on my life. Ghosts have no rules. They don't respect boundaries. They just scream and slam doors. You get 0 sleep. Sleep deprivation alone would kill me before the ghost even tries. But aliens? Look, they flew across the galaxy. They figured out faster than light travel. They're scientists. If they abduct me, they probably just want data. There's a decent chance they put me on a cold metal table, run some scans, realize my cholesterol is concerningly high, and drop me back in a cornfield in Iowa. Plus, free space travel. I get to see the inside of a UFO. Maybe they have cool snacks. Situation 6. Would you rather have to safely land a commercial airplane full of passengers after both pilots pass out, or perform emergency open-heart surgery with a dispatcher walking you through it on speakerphone? We are all dying. I'm sorry. Let's just accept it. I don't know all those buttons do in a cockpit. I can barely figure out the universal remote at my parents' house. Air traffic control is going to be screaming at me about flaps and pitch and yaw. If I have to choose, I guess the plane. At least with the plane, the failure is communal. We all go down together. With the surgery, it's just me and a guy named Steve on a table, and I have to live with the fact that I accidentally cut the wrong wire, like I'm defusing a biological bomb. Anyway, that's it. That's my survival threshold. Somewhere between mild inconvenience and running for more than 3 minutes. If an apocalypse happens, do not come looking for me to join your squad. I will be a liability. I will complain about my feet hurting, and I will attract the zombies by accidentally playing a TikTok at full volume. Let me know in the comments which of these would end you the fastest. Or, if you're one of those delusional people who thinks you could land the plane, please explain your completely unjustified confidence down below. I'm gonna go double-check the lock on my front door and maybe take a nap. See you next time.